Vyam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajakaacharya Stottra Shata Shri Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, text number 6. So, text number 7. Dvitiyam tu bhavayasya Dvitiyam tu bhavayasya Rasatalakatam mahi Rasatalakatam mahi Uddharishan upadatta Uddharishan upadatta Yagne shaksaukaram vapuhu Yagne shaksaukaram vapuhu Dvitiyam tu bhavayasya Rasadalagatam mahim Uddharishan upadatta Yagnesha saukaram vapuhu Dvitiyam tu bhavayasya Rasatalagatam mahim Uddharishan upadatta Yagnesha saukaram vapuhu Krishna Guru ki jai.
Didiyam tu bhavayasya Rasatalagatamani Uddharishan upadatta Ignesha saukaram vapuhu Didiyam tu bhavayasya Rasatalagatamani Uddharishan upadatta Ignesha saukaram vapuhu Didiyam tu bhavayasya Rasatalagatamani Uddharishan upadatta Ignesha saukaram vapuhu Dvitiyam tu bhavayasya Rasatalagatamani Uddharishan upadatta Ignesha saukaram vapuhu Dvitiyam tu bhavayasya Rasatalagatamani Uddharishan upadatta Ignesha saukaram vapuhu
Dvitiyam, the second, tu, but, bhavaya, for the welfare, asya, of this earth, rasatala, of the lowest region, katam, having gone, mahim, the earth, uddharishan, lifting, upadatta, established, Yagneshaha, the proprietor or the supreme enjoyer, Sokaram, hoggish, Vapuhu, incarnation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The Supreme Enjoyer of all sacrifices accepted the incarnation of a boar, the second incarnation, and for the welfare of all the earth, He lifted the earth from the nether regions of the universe. Kindly repeat. The Supreme Enjoyer of all sacrifices accepted the incarnation of a boar, the second incarnation, and for the welfare of the earth. He lifted the earth from the nether regions of the universe. Purport. The indication is that for each and every incarnation of the personality of Godhead, the particular function executed is also mentioned. There cannot be any incarnation without a particular function, and such functions are always extraordinary. They are impossible for any living being to perform. The incarnation of the boar was to take the earth out of Pluto's region of filthy matter. Picking up something from a filthy place is done by a boar, and the all-powerful personality of Godhead displayed this wonder to the Asuras, who had hidden the earth in such a filthy place. There is nothing impossible for the personality of Godhead, and although He played the part of a boar by the devotees, He is worshipped, staying always in transcendence. Tadanda Bhakti Vedanta Bhagavad. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya function, and that is also being listed along with the name of the different incarnations. So that these specific details are also given, so that in future no imposter can say that, okay, now I am also God. So that's what we see in Kali Yuga. There are many people, many Babajis, so-called spiritualists, they claim to be gods, God-men. But there is no such Vedic reference to their so-called incarnation. So, spirituality is a science. It has to be accepted in a scientific manner. And the scientific books are, spiritual scientific books are Bhagavad Gita, Vedas. So, until unless we refer to those Vedic literatures, we cannot ascertain the facts. Just like in a court, if you have to argue, if you have to prove that something is correct, you have to prove with the law books. You cannot simply talk whatever you want and say, I like this, as per my opinion. There is no my opinion, your opinion. It is the law book. It is the constitution of the country. Similarly, as per my opinion, he is God. It is not accepted. God cannot be taken as an opinion of another person. God is accepted based on the versions of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. All the three have to corroborate that this is the incarnation. So here we are seeing Vyasadeva has pointed out that this second incarnation, Shukara Rupa, Varaha Rupa. So there is a very, the Dashavatara Stotram also talks about, lists about this Shukara Rupa. And here also, Jayadeva Goswami, who has compiled Dashavatara Stotra, here also he is listed in the third incarnation. First he talks about, first he lists is Meena Avatara, second is Kurma Avatara, third is Shukara Rupa, Varaha Avatara. Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tava Lagna Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hari. Actually, a demon, Hiranyaksha, he had taken Mother Earth, our planet, and drowned it into the ocean, causal ocean, depth of the causal ocean, the ocean on which Mahavishnu is lying. And in order to save this material world, this planet, the Supreme Lord took the form of Varaha Rupa. Why that specific Varaha? Why that Shukara? Or why that boar? It's a wild pig. Why that specific avatara? Why that specific form? That Prabhupada is explaining here. That this wild boar, they have got a special ability. They can smell, dig the earth and smell. They can find out their food like that. That is their special ability. They can make burrows into the planet Earth. So, and they go into the filthy area to catch their food, pick up their food. So, that is a special functionality required here. The Lord has to get into the ocean, search for Mother Planet Earth by smelling and burrowing, digging into it. And so that's how the Lord takes the form of a boar, wild boar, and he jumps inside the ocean. And it is described in Bhagavatam. When the Lord jumps inside, it appears like the ocean is split into two parts. With his hoofs, he jumps inside the ocean. And then he goes to the nether regions, the lowest portion of the ocean, and he starts searching for planet Earth with the boar's ability of smell and all of that. And then he finds for the planet Earth, picks it up on his tusk, and brings that Mother Earth, planet Earth, on the top of the on the surface of the ocean, and then fixes that planet onto the orbit. So while that Mother Earth is on the tusk of the of the Lord, it is described as looking very beautiful. Let's say Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimatna, like a moon. A moon is compared to beauty, comparison. So like that, it's like a moon shining. And when the Lord touched his tusk to Mother Earth, that planet Earth became electrified. There was a special feeling for the planet Earth. So Lord is touching, no? Great feeling. Like suppose some big man shakes hand with us. Then we also feel, oh, we keep remembering people talk about, oh, I shook hand with him, I spoke to him. So like that, Lord touched planet Earth was vibrant, electrified. Actually, just then creation has begun. So planet Earth is still not full active. Planet Earth became full electrified by the touch of the Supreme Lord in the form of Varaha. So that Lord Varaha then places Mother Earth in the orbit. And then immediately Hiranyaksha comes to fight with Lord Varaha, because Hiranyaksha wanted to disturb this creation, and Lord Varaha is trying to create disturbance to his mischief. So he comes, and both of them have a big fight, duel. Wonderful description is given in Bhagavatam. One punch Lord hits on the chest of Varaha. Then one more punch, one counter punch by Hiranyaksha on Lord. So when Hiranyaksha hits the Lord doesn't move, he's still, nothing happens to him. But when Lord hits Hiranyaksha is fallen somewhere long distance. Then Hiranyaksha picks up his weapon. The Lord also picks up his weapon, and both of them counter each other, and Hiranyaksha's weapon becomes pieces. Like this fight is happening, and then Lord Brahma is getting tension on the other side. Continuously fight is happening, and sometimes Lord is getting hit, sometimes Hiranyaksha is getting hit. So Lord Brahma reminds, my Lord, please let us close this fight quickly. Inauspicious time is going to come up, and the demon may get more power. Inauspicious times, demoniac elements, evil elements get more power. Their influence becomes more. So hence, I request you to complete your Leela very fast, quickly. So listening to Brahma's prayers, the Lord, he just puts one slap. Bhagavatam describes one slap below the ears, pataki, and Hiranyaksha is fallen. So till then, the description is like this. And then, till then, fight is happening as if both are equal. He's giving an equal fight to the Lord. It appears both are on the same power. And then when Brahma prays, Simple one slap and Hiranyaksha is fallen. So it was a Leela of the Lord. The Lord wants to play. He wants to have fighting. So otherwise for him, what is Hiranyaksha? One slap. He don't even have to give slap. He just have to think Hiranyaksha should die. One virus will attack and he'll finish. So the Lord is actually performing this Leela, and there is a tough fight between both of them, and finally the Lord decides, okay, let me close this pastime, and one slap finishes Hiranyaksha. So Hiranyaksha falls, and Mother Earth is saved. So that specific Leela is being described here, the Leela and the supreme glory of the Supreme Lord. So the Lord, when He incarnates, His functionality is described, and His functions are not ordinary function. Like we hear in the modern days, Babaji's, some ash they produce, or they produce some gold. Not some simple magic, some simple tricks. These tricks even magicians are able to do. Magicians are also able to do, but they don't claim to be gods. So God is not a magician. He is not a trickster. Some trick he is doing and trying to prove that he is God. No, he does something that no one else can perform. Therefore he is called Urukrama, extraordinary activity. Like Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. Impossible. No one else can do. Urukrama. Vamanadev, he conquered all the 3 planetary system with his 2 feet. Extended his feet like anything. Urukrama. Like that, the Supreme Lord's incarnation performs unsurmountable activities. So, no one should get fooled by ordinary people claiming themselves as God. Because the list is there, their functions, what they do is also described, and that what they do is not an ordinary activity. They do wonderful, extraordinary activity. So there is nothing impossible for the personality of Godhead, and although he played the part of the boar by the devotees, he is worshipped, staying always in transcendence. So, Prabhupada explains that boar is not considered a very high class of animals. So, cow is very special, worshipable cow. There are so many other domestic animals. But boar is not a very respectable or very high position. No one keeps a boar at home. They don't have much fond. No one is fond of boars. In fact, boar are very disturbing elements in our branded kitchen. There are so many wild boars. Always they get into the earth. They break the compound wall. Very powerful. So they are not very likable, fondling. So, however, Varaha form is not that kind of a boar. The Lord, when he takes boar, that is a transcendental form. That is Satchidananda Vigraha. It is not the material body, what kind of the boar that we see. No, not that. The form is Varaha, but the body is transcendental body. The Leela is transcendental. So hence devotees, they worship Varaha form. The Lord in the form of Varaha. They worship. Now Prabhupada also gives this example that there is the Supreme Lord Krishna is called as Makanchor, butter thief. Generally, no one worships a thief. We have not seen any picture of Veerappan and worshipping Dawood Ibrahim. Let us worship him. No one worships. We all know it. They're thieves, smugglers, rogues. No one glorifies also. Varappan, he smuggled so many. No one glorifies. He's there. If he glorifies, he'll be considered, he'll be put into jail also. Along with Veerappan, he'll be next person in the inmate, jail inmate. Because it is not a glorious activity. But when the Supreme Lord is doing, it is a glorious, glorified. Oh, Krishna stole buttermilk. Butter thief. Glorify, and we go and describe how Krishna did like that, he stole like this, he went to this house. And that is glorified by great acharyas, pure devotees, who have no contamination in their heart. Suppose that one who is glorifying Veerappan, Dawood Ibrahim, he is also of same category. He is also one more smuggler. Therefore, he is glorifying. But here, pure devotees who have no vices in their heart, they have given up every enjoyment in this material world, detached from this world, they are glorifying the Supreme Lord as a butter thief. That means this activity of the Lord is not the same activity of ordinary people, butter thief. It is not same. Because it is transcendental. It is not ordinary. Therefore, pure devotees, acharyas are glorifying. And by glorifying that, suppose you glorify Veerappan, you will become Veerappan Junior. You will become next version of him. But one who glorifies the Supreme Lord, Leela, as butter, all his contamination of stealing will go away. Exactly ulta. All his contamination of material, contamination of stealing will go away. Will be purified. Krishna is also called Ranchod. Ranchod Rai. There is a temple in Gujarat. Ranchod Rai. Ran means battlefield. Ranarangam. We say, no? Ranarangam. Battlefield. So, Supreme Lord, he left battlefield. In between. For a Kshatriya to leave battlefield in between is like death. He will not be allowed inside the kingdom. Once a king, he went back to his palace without finishing the war. And he was asking permission to enter into the palace. His wife did not allow, queen did not allow. She told, my husband will never come back from a battlefield. Either he will kill and win the enemy, or he will die in the battlefield. He will not come back from that war. So she doesn't allow, you are not my husband. So that is a Kshatriya. The Kshatriya's pride is either he will kill the enemy or he will get killed. That's like a win and it's like do and die situation. But Krishna, he happily ran away from the battlefield. Of course, there was a reason. He wanted to protect Rukmini Devi. She had sent a request that she has to be protected. And the Lord, when he heard that, he got that letter, immediately he left battlefield in between to protect his devotees. Even though at a risk of his infamy, he is called as Ranachod Rai. But we all glorify. Oh, Lord left the battlefield. Wonderful, wonderful. Any Kshatriya, if you do, left the battlefield, waste fellow. But here the Lord is glorified. Because Lord's pastimes are transcendental. They are not belonging to this material world. So, the Lord has appeared here as Varaha Rupa, Varaha form. So, that is not material. That is also transcendental. It is not material. So, hence, devotees glorify, my Varaha Lord. Maivara. So, Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tarala Tavalagna Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa. Here, Jayadev Goswami is glorified. Keshavadrita Shukara. Jai Jagatisha Hare. All glories to my Lord who has taken the form of Varaha. So when ordinary people they take the form of a boar, it is out of their karma. It is because he is forced by karma, some sinful activity he has done, he gets the form of a boar. But the Supreme Lord, he has not taken the form out of his karma. It is out of his will. Atma Mayaya comes out of his own will. He chooses a different. So, Prahlad Maharaj says the Supreme Lord takes incarnation in every species. Every species the Lord is incarnating to liberate that species, to elevate those species. So the Lord has appeared in the form of Shukara, Varaha Rupa. It is out of his desire. He wants to take that, appear in that form. He wants to liberate all other, or give opportunity for liberation for all other boar in this material world. So it is out of the Lord's own desire. He takes the different form. Just like in any drama, the actors decide. Generally actors don't decide, but if the actor is a really very big one, he says, now I want to become lion in this drama. So the Lord decides, I will take the form of Varaha. And there, your devotees are glorified. Therefore, here Prabhupada is mentioning, although he played the part of a boar, by the devotees he is worshipped, staying always in transcendence. So, the Supreme Lord, in any form he appears, is always glorified. Whatever he does, that is always glorified. There are prayers to the Supreme Lord as Ranchod Rai, there are prayers to the Supreme Lord as Butterteeth, there are prayers to the Lord as Boar Incarnate. Because it is explained, we understand that Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yovetti Tattvataha. The Supreme Lord's Janma, his appearance is Divyam. His Leela, his activities are Divyam. And one who understands this Tattvataha, in fact, they get liberated. Simply we have to read those pastimes and understand how the Supreme Lord is transcendental, untouched by the material contamination. All his activities have no material jurisdiction. That will be the pathway for our liberation. And in the next verse, Krishna says, Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha Manmana Mamapashita Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Putamat Bhava Magata. Devotees, purified people, personalities, Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha, they have given up their attachment, their fear, their frustration. They purified themselves and they have achieved liberation. So, to understand the Supreme Lord's pastimes, we need to understand them with the guidance of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. If you simply see some movie, nowadays some episodes, TV movie, we will not be able to understand that the Supreme Lord's Leelas are Divyam. Hence, we should hear from a pure devotee who knows Tattvataha. Now, all these special pastimes are there. We don't know the Tattvataha, the reality of why the Supreme Lord has done this pastime. Only pure devotees know. So, therefore, we need to surrender to pure devotee, and through the shelter of the pure devotee, we understand, oh, the Supreme Lord's pastimes are divyam, transcendental. It is not material. Like Srila Prabhupada, through his books we are able to understand all these special uh, uh, pastimes. So we should take shelter of such a pure devotee, and through his vision, through his books, we should understand the different pastimes of the Lord and understand how they are transcendental. Simply by understanding that they are transcendental, one is eligible for liberation. So this is the Leela of Varaha Shukara Rupa. The next incarnation we will take up in the next shloka, next week. Hare Krishna.